How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin this video, happy Memorial Day weekend to any of you who have veterans in your family that have fallen, like my grandfather, who unfortunately died after the war due to a freak accident. He served this country proudly in World War II. Thank you to the Golden Generation for, their sacrifice. There are a lot of people in this country, in particular leftists, who obviously take things for granted. They take our Constitution and our Bill of Rights for granted. They use their skin color, their body shape, and their weird genetic makeup. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just how it is. With the pronouns and all that nonsense, men and women are a biological fact. And my grandfather was such a man who served this country proudly. And I am the proud grandson of a military vet, a U.S. Army vet, a U.S. Army corporal that proudly served this country and killed another group of N-words in a form of Nazis. I am of German descent, and my family were the ones who were against that sort of thing. So whenever you hear a certain N-word being spoken in this country, there's another horrible N-word that gets spoken about people like myself, Nazis. My grandfather served this country against my people, unfortunately. But sometimes war is necessary when it comes to true genocide, not the ridiculous it, what, who pronoun genocide that a lot of people try to push in this country. If it wasn't for people like my grandfather and for a lot of you who have veterans in your family, honor them, appreciate them. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a Bill of Rights and a Constitution. Appreciate the barbecues and the beer you're all about to have this weekend because, certain countries, can't do that sort of thing, You don't want an overlord barking at you to tell you what you can and can't eat, what you can and can't drink, and who you can keep and who you can't keep in your company. Just remember that. Keep that in mind, you ungrateful SOBs. With that being said, and especially with myself, what I saw at the World Trade Center, how true fascism rears its ugly head to religious fanaticism, especially what I see in my former home in New York now with anti-Semitism running amok. Shame on you people. Anyway, if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. The channel grows and grows and grows thanks to all of you. Smash that like button, comment in the comment section below. Hit the bell to receive notifications if you want to help to support the channel. Check out my eBay store. The link is in every description box of every video and short that I upload here on YouTube. Many of you are regular customers and have been supporting myself and supporting the hobby. Thank you so much to my fellow hobbyists, whether you're jersey collectors, sneakerheads, toy collectors, sports card collectors, etc., etc. It's just amazing. And if it wasn't for hobbies, man, I think most of us would lose our minds because this world is completely and utterly out of control. I prefer to be a normie than having rivets and staples and, long braids and, wife beater t-shirts running around, lighting Teslas on fire. It's like ridiculous and pathetic, isn't it? But anyway, with all that being said, this is a special announcement to my eBay customers in particular. And I think many of my sports card hobbyists, collectors, buyers, sellers, can relate to this sort of thing, thanks to the rhetoric of one Jeff Wilson and his stupid hot takes. And again, this is not to slander, smear, or besmirch his character. I'm focusing on the hobby in and of itself. Some of the rhetoric that he tends to put out there has quite clearly had an effect on the hobby. I love parallels and autographs and stuff like that, but unfortunately, base cards for the most part they've lost their value because of people like him. And as a result, at my eBay store, I can clearly see that a lot of my cards are not selling, that have been sitting there for a while. And I've decided that the best thing to do in a case scenario like this would be to end 4 of my listings. I do have 2 orders that I have to process yet. I've already got them. I've got the shipping labels printed out for them, and I will be getting them out today. It's a nice cool day outside, and I will be taking a walk to the post office. I have to get some stuff anyway from Walmart, so I might as well just kill 2 birds with one stone. But what I will be doing is those 4 listings that I ended today, I will be doing as a giveaway from now on until I exhaust my supply. I have a ton of base rookies and rookie debut cards that quite simply are not going to move because of course, the fervor and this obsession with parallels and autographs and relics and stuff like that. It's just that's the nature of the hobby these days. Clearly the junk wax era is long since dead. Excuse me, at least in that aspect. I'm not saying that the hobby is dead. What I'm saying is that base cards today don't hold the value like they used to, i.e. Ken Griffey Jr. 1989 Star Rookie, which I've showed off here on camera that I have in a PSA 10. The Don Mattingly 1987 Rookie, I believe, is the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have the cards in front of me here. So, certain junk wax cards do hold their value, but they're base cards, unless they're Tiffany's. You have your Bowman, Ken Griffey Jr., Tiffany, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of junk wax holds its value. But today, when it comes to base cards versus parallels, they're essentially worthless. It sucks. So what I've decided to do is take down 4 of my listings from eBay. And from today on until I exhaust my supply, I will be giving away one of the following cards randomly inserted into your orders, starting with those 2 orders that I need to finish processing. So I will be inserting these duo cards with Paul Skeens. This is the veteran combos with Yasmani Grandal. I will be randomly inserting Jackson Holiday paper rookies into your envelopes or boxes. An Ellie De La Cruz rookie debut, true rookie. And a Colt Keith paper true rookie. Like I said, I've got quite a few of these cards. I got lots of them. And it doesn't pay to have them sitting in boxes. If they're not going to move, I might as well just put back into, the sports card family. Then notice how I didn't use the C word. I almost said the C word, communita. I don't like that word because communita is a prelude to communism. I prefer to call us a sports card family and fellow hobbyists. So I will be randomly inserting these into your orders. I will be utilizing card saver 1s and penny sleeves so that this way it doesn't spoil the thickness of the envelopes. Because as you know, if you're an eBay seller like me, the post office harps on that sort of thing. So I want to try to keep the envelopes as thin as I can. I mean, unless some of you order multiple cards off of me, especially my repeat customers who tend to order about 10, 12, 14 cards at a time in some instances, then I'll box them up and all that kind of stuff. And that really will be irrelevant. But these will be in card saver 1s just to save on space because I don't want the post office back charging you or me. So expect these randomly inserted cards to be in card saver 1s. But your regular orders will be in top loaders as, I always have done. So basically, that's a huge thank you to my fellow hobbyists and sports card collectors. Again, it's the rhetoric of, and again, this is not to start internet beef or anything like that, or I'm not slandering him, not making fun of his family or any stupid thing like that, because internet people tend to do that sort of thing. I'm not going to do that. But it's just, involving the hobby, that's this specific subject matter of the hobby. I think it's a real shame that, paper cards just don't hold their water like they used to, unless there's certain cards, especially for, those that are just starting off in the hobby, they just don't hold value anymore. It sucks. So for right now, these four player cards, I will be randomly inserting. If you do happen to get one of these in your order, let me know, and then I'll switch it up in future orders so that this way you don't get repeat cards. And let's see how this goes. This is just my way of saying thank you to everybody. It really, again, it doesn't pay for them to be sitting in my boxes like that. And plus, I still have a ton of cards. Oh my God, the amount of cards I still have to list yet. So keep a lookout for that. But again, everyone, thank you across the board. I really appreciate your support. Be careful this weekend. Of course, it's probably going to be amateur hour. You're going to have a lot of bar morons out there drinking till they can't walk anymore. I will be here at home most likely because, like I said, I'm not a bar guy. I've said that in previous videos. I don't go to bars or anything like that. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to be sitting here on my patio or in my home or a friend's home or whatever have you. But just be careful out there. You don't know who you're going to run into. This world is really topsy-turvy and upside down. And a lot of people just don't hold their water. So with all that being said, again, God bless our veterans. Just like my granddad, I'm so proud of him, for serving our country. I'm so happy to have that in my family. And thank you, everybody. So without me rambling on, take care, God bless, stay safe. I am your host, the Carolina Collector. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my eBay store. Click on the link in the description box below. I will be getting these 2 orders out today. Of course, I'll film a little bit of a short like I always do to show the envelopes and whatnot. And that's pretty much it. Not much more to say. Take care, everybody.